All praises to the Almighty, sublime, most magical creator of all things, and master of the day of judgment. Shalom, everyone. I send you infinite love and light, and I receive yours. If you're new to my station, I am the Hebrew Widow, the Hebrew Rose of Jericho, coming at you with some more judgment news. Okay, what you just saw from that Ring doorbell camera was the earth shaking as the comet hit the earth. Now, the image you're looking at was after the comet hit. Yeah, the light stayed in the sky. From what I understand, this was on Big Light Levi's community post. Yeah, I highly recommend his station as well. But you can see that that's a sign in the sky. All praises to the Most High. So judgment is going to hit Texas. Okay, so that was Nuevo Laredo. But we found 9 sundown towns in Texas that is going to be the reason for judgment to hit the farmlands in Texas, okay? Because all of these towns right here are nestled in farmlands, the lands that they took from us once again. Yeah. So we're going to call out these sundown towns of Texas. We're going to call them out. Alba, Texas, Alvin, Texas, Comanche County, Texas, De Leon, Texas, Elmo, Texas, Leggett, Texas, Terrell, Texas, Vidor, Texas, and Woodin, Texas. Now, Vidor you're going to hear a testimony of someone that came from Vidor, Texas, and they are vicious racists in Vidor, Texas. Yeah. And that led us on connecting so many dots to why America and the world will be judged. One of the major reasons why this earth is going to be judged. Yeah, we are in a war now. Yeah, but we're not doing anything physical in the 3D. The Hebrew Israelites are not retaliating. Yeah, we don't have any records of terrorism or doing any kind of combative things in this 3D. But we do have the power to band our forces together, because the force is with us, you guys. The heavenly hosts. They hear us when we say, Kwam Yasharala, like, get him, get him. Yes, the Most High love our praises when we recognize that He is the one taking care of our enemies for us. So it's important for us to be praising and magnifying the Most High when we see these things happen. Now, we have some witnessed accounts of sundown towns and their behaviors. And so we're going to listen to these ladies here. So just a warning, yeah, viewer discretion advised, because you might find the following offensive.
When I tell you it was heinous, I'm going to have to be careful how I word this so that I don't get in trouble. But I think it needs to be said because I am sick and tired of hearing people say that people get over it already because it was so long ago. No, it wasn't. My father remembers his father raising hunting dogs that he would rent out on the weekend for hunting parties. Only these weren't regular hunting parties. These big bubbas would set up these almost lemonade type stands during the week and sell these little cards for like, I don't know, a nickel, 25 cents. They were person of color hunting licenses. And everyone who bought one during the week, they would gather together on the weekend with all their trucks, and they would round up as many people of color in the surrounding areas as they could find, turn them loose in the woods, and set the dogs after them. There are people alive today whose family were hunted down in the woods by dogs, and they raised their children to have a well-earned distrust of white people and of police officers. Because I guarantee you, any of the police officers that weren't wearing the hoods were turning a blind eye. This town, Vidor, Texas, at one time, I believe was known as the most racist city in the United States. It was a sundown town. They had a billboard that said, person of color, don't let the sun set on your and anyone who was not white knew you don't drive through Vidor after dark. Even truckers would avoid that route if they weren't 100% certain that they could make it through before sundown, because God forbid they had a blowout or some sort of mechanical trouble in Vidor, Texas after dark, because they had citizens and police officers patrolling looking for them. If you were in Vidor, Texas after dark and you were not white, you probably wouldn't be seen again, or at least you wouldn't be seen in one piece. It's hard for me to talk about. The library sold t-shirts with rifles across it that said, "People of color, we're ready for you." The Klan marched down Main Street openly and with full support of the municipalities and the people until 1985. 1985.
Now here's evidence that those snigger hunting license were actually in our history. Yeah, this is evidence of them. Now this guy, he found one from Missouri. So the entire United States is guilty of these crimes and they will pay. So this balloon passed over the United States. It went across the United States picking up data. And then on February 4th, they shot it down after days of traveling, and then it hit Palestine, which I told you guys early on that it was downloaded to me by Spirit. Yeah, by the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, that this was an Atlantean balloon collecting data on the frequency and vibration of our planet. And that any area where the vibration and frequency is low and the auras of the people there were not proper, that they were going to get hit hard, right? Now, Turkey had a sign too. They had that red cloud in the sky that looked like a big old red eye. That was their sign. Over the United States, we had the quote-unquote Chinese spy balloon, which they're trying to discount now and call it a what they call it, a hobby balloon, and they don't know the origin of it. Yeah, they know the origin of it, all right. They're just not telling the American public. So I'm telling you what Spirit downloaded to me. And so that balloon went across the United States at a very high altitude where it could collect data from massive amounts of land. Now, it took it days to pass over the United States and gather all of this data. And then they shot it down on the 4th. After it had completed its mission, we saw the UFO that sped by at lightning speed when they shot it, if that's what happened. They seem not to be able to get their story straight or even their images straight, because you guys seen the contrails when they shot it down. It just wasn't straight. You know, for them to be shooting a balloon, you would think the contrails would have been straight. Anyway, let's go back to what they picked up. They picked up some very ugly and low vibrations in Ohio. Yes, in Ohio. Because they got hit hard. They got hit very hard. They will not be able to enjoy these lands anymore, you know, in Palestine and all the little surrounding sundown towns. Yeah, the grounds are no longer good. The water is poison, and people from other states are feeling the effects of the chemicals and the carcinogens, yeah, that are burning, or that was burning in Palestine, Ohio. And so now when I seen Texas is going to get hit too. It's going to get hit too. Look at all of this farmland that was once ours, yeah, that they took from us and abused us. And the few little farmers left, they continue to abuse them and run them off the land as well. And you seen the anatomy of a sundown town? And you heard about the canines, right? Yeah, we're going to go over the canine stories too. Because the slave catchers, you know, in their abuse, they use their dogs against us. And evidently, Spirit wants me to talk about that too. Because I was led straight to those videos. You heard what the lady said. The white lady, she was talking about her family members. Yeah, they actually train their dogs to hate black people. And so they got to pay for it.
What I want to tell you is this video that I'm making right now it's for white people. White people who are trying their best to root out the racism that has been ingrained in our heads. Okay? When I was little, and I was born and raised in Texas. However, there's this war that's going on in my own head. And I know there are plenty of you who probably have the same thing. You had an aunt, uncle, grandparents who were racist. And maybe they didn't mean to be, but I had an uncle who meant to be and who really tried to teach me to be that way. So, I hate this so much. I must have been maybe 5. And my uncle had this dog. And he thought it was hilarious. I'm literally shaking right now because this is awful. He thought it was hilarious to have her chase down black people on the alley behind our house and bite them. He thought it was funny to tell me, and I must have been 4.
She is pleading with white people who do not want to acknowledge our suffering. They actually continue doing their atrocities. She's like, this is real. Because a lot of the privileged ones, you know, the ones that have benefited from their forefathers' atrocities, well, this is still going on. It's not that far back. Yeah, one of them was saying it was back in 1985 when the Ku Klux Klan was still parading through the town. That's recent history. But this stuff that they've been doing, the abuses that they have been doing to us in these sundown towns continue, and it continues all across America. And that is what's going to bring America down. Now, all the sundown towns in Texas, you see that they were farmlands, right? So you guys just be looking for a famine to hit. Hey, all you guys that's listening and resonating with this, get some seeds and some soil. Start your little gardens. Yeah, that's important. Now, I don't think that we're going to be here, but for those that are left behind, they'll be really happy to see some seed and soil. Yeah, because that train in Ohio, you know, that derailment, that's going to ruin farmland for miles out. Now, I don't know what's going to happen to Texas, but I know Texas is going to get hit. And it's going to get hit in the farmlands because that's where all of those little sundown towns are nestled. Okay, so let's see how recent these slave catcher, low-vibing people are and how in recent history they have abused us with their dogs.
Oh, there's a lady. Out, out. You're fine. The video makes it very clear that the initial warnings that were given were not sufficient. She was taking out her garbage on a Saturday morning at about 6:30, and unbeknownst to her, there was a burglary call in her general area, and a police canine ended up finding her, biting her, and really attacking her. Please! Yep. Help me! We're trying to get you off. It establishes what happened. It's terrifying also in that you get to see, you know, an up close and personal look of how horrific this incident had to be for Miss Collins. Her face and her screams kind of tell that story.
This video made my blood boil. It made my blood boil because they still have these canines and they still attacking. We're going to look at a little video where, they're trying to push a bill in California to, take them canines off the force. Okay. Yeah, this one made my blood boil. But you know what? It also made the father's blood boil. Because that woman right there, more than likely, she was a starseed. That's why she had to suffer. And the world saw it. Yeah, she had to be a starseed. Now, these people that despise us, they don't know who we are. They have no idea who we are. They have had white Jesus to idolize, Jesus is white. So they tricked them and they caused them to despise us, the devil, okay? Those, I always talk about those thoughts that come at you. They don't always come from the inside of you, but the outside. Yeah, those voices, yeah, been telling them to despise us, and it gets into their DNA actually to hate us, and they pass it on to their children, and that's what these two white ladies were talking about. Yeah, they might have a chance because they really put themselves out there. Don't you know when you have like a TikTok or something like that, your family and friends watch your TikToks? And so they took a chance on possibly getting killed because you know what they call people like them? They call them snigger lovers. I'll say it like that. Yeah, that's what they call them. And so they took a great chance on letting people know that this stuff still exists. But with social media and the video capability on our cell phone, we see it happening over and over and over again. And they're not going to stop. So when we see our people abused, yeah, we have a righteous indignation. Curse them. Curse them. Curse them. Hey, I returned the canine trauma back on them. I cursed them and their canines. May the Most High and His heavenly host cause those dogs that they like to attack black people with, may they be attacked. May the dogs turn on them. That's my prayer. Them going to the White House begging, enough is enough. These white people, these politicians will not stop. And we ain't begging no more. So what we do, we put our energy together and we curse them. We curse them. And my curse right now that I'm sending into the all is that all canines that hate black people get a confusion in their mind and turn on their masters. That's what I pray. That's the curse that I put on our enemies. We're not begging the White House anymore, not us Hebrew Israelites. If you agree with me, put 777 in the comments.
That Martian and bitches send our can.
Yeah, they can go beg. They've been begging for years and nothing's changed. Nothing at all has changed. Yeah, but some people, like I said, they're allies of the Hebrew Israelites, and I pray that they're protected through the judgment. Y'all get y'all seed and soil and keep in a high vibration. And if you know somewhere is a sundown town, if you're listening to this and you're the only one in the sundown town that have a different mind frame, hey, I would get out right away. I would get out. If I was in a community and black is not listed on the demographics, I would get the hell out of that town, because all of these towns with these mindsets will be hit. They are under judgment. And may that judgment come quickly. Kwam Yasharala, Kwam Yasharala. We know who we are now. Yeah, y'all just go keep on worshiping white Jesus if you want to. Keep on worshiping white Jesus. They lied to you. They tricked you. They had us tricked too. We didn't even know who we are, but we do now. We went from Hebrews to Negroes, but we're back at being Hebrews now. And the Hebrew Israelites are very powerful. We don't have to lift a finger. All we have to do is praise and worship the Most High and beat our drums and blow our shofars, and you will fall.
Lawmaker behind the bill says that the use of police canines has been the backbone of this country's history of racial bias and violence against Black Americans. Newly elected Assemblymember Corey Jackson said police canines were first used by slave catchers and are a violent carryover from America's dark past.
And that is a vicious and unforgiving part of our history that has created nightmares, that has institutionalized and created generational trauma.
It's why he wants to ban police from using them for arrest, apprehension, or any form of crowd control. He cited data from the California Department of Justice that shows nearly 2/3 of people injured by canines are Black or Latino.
Okay, so we heard the Black politician telling everybody what everybody already know. Yeah, begging them to stop trying to pass a bill, but we have old Colonel Sanders here talking about, oh no, let's keep using them because it's less lethal. I told y'all these old white mother tuckers won't stop. They won't stop. They gonna fight to keep their canines, and let them do it. Kwam Yasharala. Ooh, I can't wait to see what happens to them. I know it's gonna be in the news. It's gonna be one canine attack after the other. Because I know that we are creators and we can create our own reality. We can change the reality of this world with our energy. And so those curses are going to go out. So you guys just look out in the news. It's going to be canine attacks on. It's not just the police officers. Let's get this straight. It's not just the police officers. These people actually train their dogs to hate Black people. You don't believe it? Let's listen.
I was ever asked in my lifetime was from a ex-friend of mine. He was my best friend for 6 years, from 2016 until 2022. When he asked me if my dog liked white people, I was kind of, thrown back because I never even considered raising my dog to dislike somebody based on the color of their skin, considering dogs can't see color. When I confronted him, asking him had he done the research of how historically white people have used dogs and trained dogs to hurt, harm, and kill Black people, and has he ever confronted his white friends who has dogs and if their dogs like Black people, to which he told me he had not done the research, yet his white friends who has dogs that he knows do not like Black people, he let me know that he would give them shit about it. Immediately I knew I could not have that kind of energy around me, that I was not safe.
I'm going to end this video at the same place that I ended the last video. You see, Israel, our allies are unbelievable. You're looking at that Archangel Uriel. He's covering the continent of Africa, and his cape swings all the way back into Asia. Yeah, this is our allies. Yeah, we were going through the test. This Archangel even has a tear from his eye. He knew what we were going to have to go through in our testing as he guarded our promised lands to us. Yeah, this is the promised lands of Adam's seed. The wilderness that we will be going to is very magical. It's in the 5D, and we will be protected there while the Most High's host is cleansing this earth from all low vibrational creatures, including those canine owners that teach their dogs to hate us. Yeah, that sick their dogs on us to abuse us and to control us with fear. They will all be wiped off the planet. And we will be shouting, Kwam Yasharala, Kwam Yasharala. And when we see things in the news, the abuses of our people in the news, curse them. We have the power. The power is in our hands now. And we can join our love and light forces with the all and send out those curses, and it will happen. Yeah. So I wish I could say that I enjoyed doing this video. It was not enjoyable. It was actually informative. And, it wasn't a pleasure to do it, but the word has to go out there. We have to know what to do when we see these abuses against our people. And when we recognize judgments and why people are being judged and not feel sorry for them. No, the Most High say, don't feel sorry for them. When I judge them, they're getting exactly what they deserve. Yeah. Yeah, so that's what we do. The Most High has activated judgment. He marked this earth for it. Yeah. And our very beautiful black Messiah that you just saw. Yeah, so large that a whole community can sit on him. Yeah, they didn't want people to know that angels are black. Our Messiah is black. Starseed are black. Hebrew Israelites are the melanated ones. Yes, I know I used the word black. Well, Uriel is black, actually, and so was the Messiah Megalith. But yeah, we are the melanated ones. Yeah, and those descendants of the Atlantic slave trade and those indigenous that were scattered to the four corners of the earth. Yeah, we're going to have victory in this war. Yeah, they took all our lands from us. They ran us off the lands. They processed us off with their racism and systemic racism. Yeah. But we will reclaim our lands once we come back after being re-educated in the wilderness, the very magical places. So rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. May goodness and mercy follow you all the days of your life. And may we dwell in the house of the Most High forever. Hallelujah. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for your kind donations in support of a Hebrew widow. Yes, thank you. Much appreciated and needed. Okay, you guys, the Hebrew widow, the Hebrew Rose of Jericho out. Shalom until the next magical show.